run you a long time.
Hello, I'm Danny Baker. I'm 38, I'm a broadcaster, I've got 2 kids, I'm married and live in South East London. I support Millwall Football Club and like to relax watching cartoons from the 1950s and the 1940s. Here's my friend.
Hello, I'm Danny Kelly. I'm 39, recently married and live in East London. I'm the editor of Total Sport magazine and support Tottenham Hotspur. I like to relax watching documentaries about warfare.
Okay, sorry about that, it's just this show has disappeared more often than a shifty opponent of General Pinochet. One week we're taking 8,000 calls an hour, the next we don't exist. So we thought it might be nice to introduce ourselves all over again. This is Baker and Kelly up front, 0345 909 693. Grab it while it's here. It's the greatest football phone-in show anywhere, broadcast on an occasional basis. All right, go on, Vinnie, I believe. Vinnie, where are you, Vinnie?
Hello?
Go on, talk to Danny and Danny.
Danny?
Yes, Vinnie. Go on, Vinnie, you're on.
We're just going to the Chelsea game now.
Yeah?
We just started the crazy game.
Oh, it's Vinnie Jones!
Yes,
I didn't even presume for a second it would be the Vinmeister.
No,
Vin, how the hell are you?
I'm all right. We're just going to the Chelsea game.
Yeah? You're going to the Chelsea game?
Yeah, we're playing today.
Yeah, you're playing them. Of course you're playing them. And so what's the thoughts about it? They're going to kick them up in the air?
No, you know the secret behind our success, Dan, didn't you, lately?
What?
Buying all the Millwall players off you.
Well, we have got. I mean,
Thanks very much, son.
But every single club, Vinnie, could ring in and say that to me. You know, I mean, it's almost like the veterans meeting after the Second World War. Every club has at least 6 ex-Millwall pros in them, and they're all doing splendidly. Vin, can I ask you something? Are you interested in management?
Yeah, what, when I finish?
Come and take us over. What do you mean? What do you mean, Vinnie? What do you mean when you're finished? No, listen. Why don't I'm serious here, and this is no way to pitch her, but I'm serious. Come down and take over Millwall, and I'm serious. I'm not just saying. I really believe you should. Jimmy Nichols struggling. It's an airy-fairy club at the minute. We need someone. We need a real rallying point. Neal Ruddock's already expressed interest. Get in before him.
Well, what about Terry? Look, he's not working.
No, you're better than him. You're better than him. I'm serious. Come down and take over Millwall. I'm serious about that. This is an official offer from a season ticket holder.
Yeah, there you are.
Vinnie, what's the score today, by the way?
Hey?
What is the score in your game today, by the way? What will it be?
I don't know. We ain't kicked off
don't say
yet.
I don't know. Come on. Have a
We
bet.
ain't kicked off yet.
It doesn't
We ain't
matter.
kicked off.
I'll have an £100 bet with you. Correct score. I'll say you're going to get beat 2-0.
I'll bet you we don't get beat.
No, give us a score. Don't weasel out of it. Give me a score.
We'll win 1-0.
You'll win 1-0. All right. I've got 2-0.
£100 to charity then.
Yeah. No, to me or to you. Just because you're on the radio, don't change your personality. Me and you. If you win, it's £100. If I win, it's £100. Yes?
All right,
I guarantee that. All right, Vinnie, thank you very much indeed. Go on, Dan.
And if they win, and if Arsenal lose, God forbid, Wimbledon top of the table.
Oh no,
and
superb.
He can't, and he can't go into management yet because I'm not kidding. First, I saw him play Wimbledon play Spurs earlier this season, their first win of the season, and although he got sent off, Vinnie Jones is the best player on the pitch. The world turns on its head.
I'll tell you what, it's rather like I was out with a member of East 17 last night, of course.
Oh, needless to say.
They were staggered by the fact that they've become cool. They used to be like, and they were really worried that people said, oh, it's East 17. And I think that's what's happened to Wimbledon. They've become very cool. Everyone hated Wimbledon. They knew it. They loved it. But now people say, damn it, they're fine. I would like a club. When you look at some of the wishy-washy, no-good, namby-pamby nose pickers we've got, you want players. I know who he is. I know Wimbledon side better than I know Millwall's at the moment. Absolutely 100%. Vinnie Jones should come and take us over. His first management job. We're made for each other, and I don't mean that offensive in any sense. How about Tottenham? Do you want him?
No. I'm happy enough with that. I've been promised this very morning by the chairman that we're going to win the title in 3 years' time.
Well, we can win the title, but I'd still like Vinnie Jones to be our manager. What a crack. Who are we saying? Kevin. Kevin, where are you, Kevin?
Hello, Dan. I'm in Tottenham.
Okay.
Is this the same Vinnie Jones that wipes people away like Gary Stevens and ruins their career?
He doesn't wipe people away. That's an erroneous reputation. Absolutely erroneous, sir.
Dan, let's get serious with it, man.
That's like having 9 points on your driving licence and saying, oh, ban him for life.
No, not true.
It is. No.
That was a shocker with Gary Stevens, an absolute shocker. I was about 12 yards from it. It was an absolute...
two Tottenham supporters.
It was an assault. It was an assault probably under law. Anyway, move on.
Anyway, move on.
What do you want to say, Kevin? Come on.
Right. About 12 years ago, playing for a Sunday League side, and we went on the obligatory Easter tour to Amsterdam.
Yeah.
And we turned up with headaches and, being sick and players...
Weren't you well?
Oh, we were all very, very fit, well tuned up for the game.
Yes.
Got in the dressing room, the manager come in, and the manager's a reporter for the Today paper, as it happens now, the rugby editor for the Today paper.
There is no Today paper, isn't there?
Yeah. That was yesterday when there was Today.
Well, you know, anyway.
Gone out of business, go on.
Anyway, so we're in the dressing room and he come in, he went, there's good news and there's bad news. The hospitality is the best you'll ever see, because they think we're Brighton.
Oh!
Yeah? And the club was BSC 67, and we're all sitting there going, you know, all the expletives come out, you're joking, you're having a laugh. And they thought we were Brighton.
Cool.
BSC 67, they thought we were Brighton, I don't know why.
And let me take a wild guess at this, and you said, no, we're not Brighton. Or did you wrote it out, didn't you?
No, we went for it all, you know.
Yeah.
Wine, women, song, all night long.
See, then you could have got away with it.
How did the game go?
It was toilet. I mean, it was like watching Vinnie Jones go through Gary Stevens.
Listen to you, Weasel. If I put him back on the air now, you go, hello, Vinnie, how are you? We keep all your numbers. We're passing it on to the man.
Go on, give him my number,
he's
Dan.
Millwall's new manager.
I've experienced exactly the same sort of thing. When you play for a Sunday team, you get these overseas tours, you fill out the form, and sometimes mistakes get made. We went to Mallorca, same kind of thing.
Yeah.
The team we played...
Oh, I remember you telling this is a great story, yeah.
Floodlights. We're kicking off at midnight. That's very strange, isn't it? Because of the heat, there'll be some kind of... We get to the place, and we're a North London pub team. I said North London, we're a North London pub team, and we get to the place, there are floodlights, there are 500 or 600 people, there are people paying small amounts of pesos to get into the ground.
Yeah.
The other team run out in tracksuits and go up to the centre circle and produces a big pennant. Now, when our captain Malcolm went forward, two things. I thought, they're probably going to guess this is not going to go the way they think it is, because he has no pennant, and, so I look to my left, John Brennan, who was out playing in midfield for us, is wearing sunglasses because he has been bitten by a mosquito and his eye is closed. They're going to say, one of their players, he's wearing sunglasses.
Who do you think they thought you were?
I don't know who we got the levels of the two teams. They thought we were a semi-professional team.
Lots of stories like that. This comes under the category of you ever pretended to be a footballer, either usually to impress a babe.
And we had a big fat fellow playing, because he ran the pub, right, and he wasn't normally in the team, but a little tiny man, about 5'3", but a great big fat fellow, known as Egg on Legs for obvious reasons.
Egg on Legs.
And the local girls just thought this was so funny, this film, because of course the swarthy Spaniards were just kicking him up in the air, and at the time the leading Spanish player was called Juanito. Every time he got the ball, all the girls going, Juanito! It was the most humiliating 90 minutes.
The latest score from that game was?
10-0, sir.
10-0. We didn't do bad. 10-0.
No.
10-0. All right, we want to hear stories about abroad, because pitching up in many of the Russian breakaway states, and as we established on Wednesday night, Estonia not only are a breakaway state, they've also got their own breakaway World Cup going on these days, haven't they? They turned up as well. All right, nearly 12:20. Alan, where are you, Alan?
Hello.
Alan, I'll get the phone number out again, 0345 909 693. It is busy, but it's answered manually.
That is once a year.
Once a year. OK, Alan, what do you want to tell us?
Yeah, I want to tell you about an interview I had with Arthur Cox about 10, 12 years ago.
Arthur Cox, hard man, coach of Derby, Newcastle, etc.
He certainly is a hard man.
Why?
I'll tell you.
Go on.
We went down to Leeds and we beat them 1-0 on the first match of the season.
Who are we?
Newcastle.
Oh, right, sorry. Yeah.
And the next day, or the bank holiday Monday, we were playing Shrewsbury at home. I lived about 20 miles outside in Newcastle, wanted to get a couple of tickets for my young son, had a hell of a problem. Anyway, eventually got there, got the tickets, we get stuffed by Shrewsbury.
I remember that. I remember that.
Okay, there we were, so I was really sort of naffed off with this, having watched a load of crap for many, many a year.
Mm-hmm.
And so I sent this stroppy letter in.
Oh, yeah?
One to Arthur Cox, one to our friend Gordon McKeague, one to the secretary, and I got this reply back from Arthur Cox.
Wow.
Would you like to take this a little further? And if so, contact his secretary and we'll discuss it.
No.
Yeah.
Was there abuse in your letter, or was it generally...
It was generally sort of questioning what had happened at Newcastle over the last 35 years. You know?
So he's written back and he said, do you want to take this further? Yeah.
He says, ring the secretary, make an appointment, and we'll take it further.
Not busy at all.
Jeez, opportunity of a lifetime.
Yeah.
So there I go. Goes in, meets him, goes into his manager's office, sits down. He says to me, if I had published that letter, I would have been a very rich man. I said, don't be stupid. I mean, it's ridiculous. It was a fan's point of view.
Yeah.
And got off to a bad start. So I wagged my finger at him. I said, listen, I've supported this club from 1960, and I'll see the back of you.
Good man, that's the way, that's the style.
What he says if you point your finger at me once more, I'm going to punch you right between the eyes.
Cool. Oh,
yes.
This is the
That's
style
how to run the club.
Just before you carry on, when, on 606 or here or Wednesday nights, I'm always saying, look, we own these clubs, da-da-da, so-and-so. The football supporters are always there, the only eternal grounds change and all that, which is very emotional, but nevertheless true speech. However, if more managers actually said, fine, come on, we'll have you all, then we all know where we stand. And now we're hearing about that. So what happened?
So what happened was that I said, listen, I don't have to listen from this crap from you. Got me stuff, because I had loads of questions that I wanted to ask, you know. Picked them up, starting to walk towards the door. He gets up and locks the door and keeps me in.
Yes. Cool, this is fantastic. Yes. And I mean, I hate to say it, but I'm on his side.
So far, I'm with him, yeah.
This is, only because it's about time some direct... I like to believe we, unfortunately, no longer live in an age where direct action is set, where human beings run clubs, where passion's in veins, and it's not all a PR exercise. Mm-hmm. I like someone who's on the tiles, on the cobbles, with the lads.
And prepared to roll his sleeves up when it comes to it. Oh,
absolutely. So
had I been a scrapper of any description, which I could have been, I would have punched him back. I would have punched him first.
Would you have... are you a little bloke?
Everybody says I am, yeah.
Ah, but that's why he was doing it.
Yeah, he tried to intimidate from the beginning, you see. And once he realised, in fact, I wasn't going to be intimidated, I was in for 2.5 hours. And we had a great time.
Well, that's nice.
Nice. Absolute cracking time. And
I think he said to his secretary, send a letter out to this fella, right? Get him in. If he's not a very big bloke, I'm going to frighten the life out of him. Yeah, that's what he did. It's just gone 20 to 1. I'm all for people called Bob. Here's another one. Bob.
Hello, mate.
What do you want to say, Bob?
I'm talking about funny places where you play football.
Where have you played?
In a sausage factory in Peckham.
Well, a sausage factory in Peckham, of course, is picaresque. It's almost straight out of Only Fools and Horses. But did you really, because it's not enough it was in a sausage factory, because the word sausage was deemed, I think, clinically unfunny around 1962. But you can resurrect it if your story's any good. Give us the circumstances.
We played football with a pig's head.
Oh, you say they're too good. Lead me in.
The left jab, the left, and then a big right cross banger on the floor.
Pig's head. Go on, who was playing football with a pig's head?
Butchers. What we used to do was get the two hoppers where we used to put the sausage meat into the machine.
Yeah.
One each end of the factory.
Yeah.
And the butchers used to cut a pig's head off.
Yeah.
Put it in the middle, and we used to have 4 aside, and he used to be manic.
You know, people make such a fuss about who runs Newcastle.
Sir John Hall and his son at £745,000 a year.
See, John Hall, people say what he's done for Newcastle. Well, what that pig did for your game, I'd like to see. So that's putting input into the game. The pig gave its head, sir, yeah.
I used to like the volleys when the eyes used to pop out.
Oh, right, there are people who can say now you're losing them. Although, again, if the eyes hit somebody...
Is it a foul where you've hit the pig's head, or where the eyes ended up?
We're going to get this leg thing sorted out by the end of the show. So, and was it just a one-off, or did you regularly play with a head?
No, this was a once a week. The delivery of pigs used to come in daily, but they used to play on a Friday afternoon when everyone got paid. Yeah. Everyone was a little bit happy, and they got the pig out, and
the only problem I have with this call, then, is the fact that it may be grotesque for grotesque's sake. You see, if you really are going to play with a piece of a pig, and I've thought about this, and I know you're going to think I wasn't, you'd play with the other end of the pig, because it's rounder, it's got more going for it, and there is a kind of, it's just more spherical. I think with the snout and the ears, you're not going to get a fair bounce out of it for a start.
Like rugby, isn't it? Then?
No, exactly. You're not going to get. Did you find it was durable, the pig's head?
It was. The only problem, the butchers used to wear steel toe-cap boots, and they used to ruin the pig's head a little bit quicker. If you played with normal pair of plimsolls, then it used to kill everybody.
If you played with flip-flops, a pig's head could last for hours.
Somewhere there's a vegan sitting in a minicab listening to this call, writing a letter off to the Times about, and he's just suddenly gone, I'm not going to bother anymore. The world is beyond redemption. There are people out there playing with heads of things. Okay, yes, you're absolutely right. The pig's head
is on the list. It's on the list there with the RAF berries, the industrial cellophane, the apple, the big metal nut, and the bread roll.
All right, so we've had the highest game in the world. Any miners who want to ring us and tell us the lowest game in the world?
I can answer the highest game in the world, though, for you now.
Sorry, that correspondence is now closed, isn't it?
Except this has an exciting adventure part in the middle of it. Yep. Dougie Brimson, the famous Dougie Brimson, who writes those very funny books, was also in the RAF, he tells me, and referring to our story last week of the fellas in the Beverley Transporter playing football, he says, we were coming back from Belfast in one of those big transporters, and we had a football, and the game started. as we were taking off, now games had played at 40 degrees, quite a difficult thing to do. A lot of people being sick and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
But the game was going on until they were just making too much noise with the ball banging about in the back of the aircraft.
Let me get it right. When you say please, because
taking off,
I actually dealt for a few years in that phrase at 40 degrees while dealing with certain kinds of pharmaceutical washing powder type things. You see.
Yes.
So, but when you say
I mean
40 degrees,
as they're taking off.
Right. Actually playing as they're taking off.
Playing as they're taking off.
I thought you weren't even supposed to move or put your
They're not
tray up
supposed to be, but anyway, this game is going on.
All right.
And there arrives, and I almost want to just read this out, because apparently the fellow in charge of the airplane is the air load master. The air...
load master?
The air load master arrives, takes one look at what's going on, and in the style of Windsor Davis in Ain't Half Hot Mum, walks over to the ball, produces a large hunting knife from among his webbing, stabs the ball, says, "Sit down, buckle yourselves in and stop messing about." He goes away again. The ball is now stabbed and deflated.
That doesn't stop.
They start, of course not. They start to play
with deflated
now.
balls,
They begin to play with what he calls ear defenders. Those big glorified military headphones.
Big headphones that people
big
dig up
puffy headphones. They start to play with those, but this has a fatal drawback because they're metal and plastic. They're now banging on the sides of the airplane, and so they can be heard by the officers in charge, including the air load master as well. Now comes the ultimate threat to any football match. Here comes the pilot over the airways. Okay, keep playing football and you're all going back to Belfast.
Oh, man.
Immediate cessation of hostilities.
But all he's
game ends.
He's using a bigger stick than necessary. If he'd have said, OK, fellas, let's see how you like this, and done one of those, where you turn them right the way around things, then you'd say, all right, I think that's... But then...
I'm having air load master.
These people would have carried on playing, I suspect. Upside down, they'd have carried on playing,
Ear defenders.
0500 1053 89. Who's there? Darren, where are you, Darren?
Darren, I'm in London.
Give tongue, Darren. What do you want to say?
Unusual football teams.
Okay.
Do you remember the board game Dad's Army?
The board game?
The board game.
No, Dad's Army, the board game. No, last week we played, you wouldn't know this time, we played What's the Time, Mr. Wolf, here in the studio. We played an exciting game, and the finals are going to be in Paris in a few weeks' time. Anyway, What's the Time, Mr. Wolf, we played. And now we're talking about Dad's Army, the board game.
Yeah, it was about 20 years ago they brought it out.
In the shell of a nut, how was the game played? What did you have to do?
What we had to do, you remember another game called Super Striker?
Well, at a pinch.
We're going to get... This is like a Russian doll, is it, about games, yeah?
You had to push their heads down. We were short of players, so we're thinking, what can we use as players? And we remembered the board game.
There were figures of the Dad's Army people.
Yeah, they were little cardboard things, but we were so desperate for players, we used them.
Yeah. Any of your Dad's Army still alive?
Unlike the real Dad's.
Oh, of course, that's the first thing anyone does when they watch Dad's Army, isn't it? Now, who's still alive? It's getting less and less of a game as the years roll on. But
in London,
so who was in? No, Clive Dunn's still there.
Of course he is.
Can you name the order in which they died? Give us a call, 0500 1053 89. I can name Dad's Army and the order in which they died. We know who died first was poor old James Beck.
Yeah.
Anyway, so there you've got your game with players missing. What did you do?
Yeah, we had to use the Dad's Army players, and we had the front line of the Verger, Captain Manrin, and Private Godfrey.
The Verger was up front. That's the name of the show now. That's the name of the show. It's no longer Bacon.
Are you sure?
The Verger's up front. That's the name of the show.
and the only person who approves of that is Graham Taylor, isn't it? Oh, yeah, I'd put the Verger up front.
What kind of game did the Verger have?
He always scored a lot of goals. More than the Super Striker players.
At the end of the game, did he run around the others going, "I'm all out of here now. You're not supposed to be in here."
Repeat the front lines. The Verger.
The Verger. Yeah.
One thing we also had.
Captain Manrin. Captain Manrin was up front, was he?
Yeah, Captain Manrin.
And who else?
And Private Godfrey.
Oh, Godfrey can't have been up front. Now, come on.
No, when you had injured players in the old days, you used to put Loiter on the wing, didn't you?
Doesn't matter. Godfrey could possibly... No, seriously, I don't want to get bogged down here, but that just seems like really just wantonly being surreal, because you must have had alternatives to Godfrey to play up front.
We had other players, but I can't remember. Well, we also had...
So if you've got Pike, you must have just been having too much fun then, because you've got Pike, who may be useless, but he's young. You can't play Godfrey up the front of a team.
No, we played him, and he played well.
Well, I'm sorry, I could not have got into it.
It is one of the greatest forward lines ever assembled in England, isn't it?
At a pinch, the Verger. Yeah, okay, Mannerin.
With his experience, you can see it, yeah.
If you lose it all with Godfrey, because then the game becomes a farce. So what was the harvest of all this? Have you still got the figures? Do you still play the game?
I've still got the striker figures, but I can't remember what happened to the Dad's Army ones.
Sadly, that's the wrong answer.
Exactly. Don't strike you because
they must have
Striker Smiker, isn't it?
Exactly. No, but the Dad's Army figures. Well, that was a fantastic one. Exactly the kind of gold we're looking for here. That is the most unusual team and the best improvising of. Because we did used to do this thing. If you actually had an imaginary team and actually had your Subbuteo players and gave them lives.
Cavanagh Rangers.
Cavanagh Rovers is mine.
Sorry,
but if you actually, pretended like the Steve Sedgley doll, you pretended you had players in your house. That's odd. Just gone 20 to 1. We're going to Andy now. Andy, sorry to have kept you waiting. Where are you, Andy?
Hello, Danny, in Leamington.
What do you want to say, my friend?
Well, we organised a game for some kids back in '92, and then in the afternoon the parents decided to have a game, and there was a nice carnival atmosphere.
Where was
All
this?
the guys was doing the barbecue. A story about hitting somebody in the head with the ball.
Oh, right.
And midway through the game, I'm fending off the oncoming forward and ease him away from the goal. He lets fly with an absolute cracker, smacks the guy doing the barbecue in the back of the head, who narrowly missed falling onto it, and he was absolutely out cold.
But it didn't
hit him.
He didn't actually hit the barbecue, though.
No, he didn't do the barbecue.
No.
Thank God for that, no.
Yeah.
But, he hit him in the back of the head, he went down, he was unconscious, so I carried on running off the pitch, dived in and sort of pushed people out the way and didn't have a clue about anything medical. And I thought, well, I better get his teeth out, because he was, getting on a bit. And I was trying to yank his false teeth out, but he didn't have any.
I was going to say, that's a little presumptuous of you there, Andy. Just a little, I've lost count of the times in Oxford Street. I've just been a bit puffed and leant against the wall, and 6 or 7 people come over and try to wrench your teeth out, and you're one of them. You don't want that. Yeah, so this was, what holiday camp was it?
No, it was a friend of mine lives down in London. He'd organised.
I don't know why I thought it was a holiday camp.
Team.
Andy, did this ever happen to you? This is one of those things in life you've got no control over. You know that feeling then when you lean back on 2 chairs and then you go too far and drag yourself back. They say. Well, the equal one to that is that split. It can happen both ways. If you hit usually a ball high up in the air and it goes askew, and you see someone talking to their elderly aunt, and that ball almost makes the sound effect like in a Roadrunner cartoon.
Stuka style,
and it just grazes their shoulder usually, boom, and frightens the life out of them. I don't know what's worse, watching that come down Stuka style, or being the one all of a sudden the ball comes out of nowhere and goes bang.
The latter is worse.
The latter I think is worse. Frightens the life out of you. Any instances of that we'll take. 16 minutes of the show left, but plenty of time. 0500 909 693. Come on the air and entertain the UK. Steve, where are you, Steve?
In Oxford, Danny.
What do you want to say, my friend?
Interesting reasons for leaving the pitch. I had another category, but they wouldn't let me tell you that one.
Well, what was that category, though? Be a rebel, tell us. No, don't be a rebel, because it probably means it's boring and no good.
Oh, okay.
What was the category, though?
The category I wasn't allowed to tell you?
Yeah.
Oh, that was interesting places for playing a game with interesting objects.
Ollie, no? Nah, okay. Tell us the first one.
Oh, the first one. Oh, that one was banned.
No, it's not banned.
You're being suppressed.
It's dull. It is dull.
Now
it's officially
so
you shouldn't push your luck here because it's been deemed dull.
Okay,
all right, go on then.
Okay, played for a regular Saturday team a few years back in goal, and had a certain particular job. Had to have a mobile telephone with me in the goal, you see. Telephone would go off, and obviously had to stop the game. Sorry, guys, because it'd either be the police or it might be a member of the public.
Why is this?
Because I used to be an Undertaker. To go off, rush off to the black van.
Is there no time off for an Undertaker?
Pardon?
Is there no time off for an Undertaker?
I'm afraid not. People die 24 hours a day, mate.
Yeah, I know, but
you don't have to wrap him up straight away, do you?
Yeah, but supposing you're at the graveside then.
Pardon?
Supposing you're at the graveside, you can't take a call. Ashes to ashes, dust to hello. You can't. There's no such phrase. It's what happens if you're at the graveside, and let's face it. I mean, God forbid anyone should have to identify with this, but when you carry a beer, them things is heavy, really heavy. I mean, aren't they heavy?
They are. You tell my back about it.
Exactly. So what happens is you've got it on your shoulder, right? And I'm not saying necessarily you're playing a game of football with one on your shoulder, although I'm sure you've got a story. And the phone goes.
Well, it's tricky.
I bet it's tricky.
Yeah, I bet it's tricky.
Very embarrassing. No.
People might think it's the bell to send the coffin down on that sort of chute that takes it off into the...
Like a laundry chute in the hotel.
Exactly, like the laundry chute. All right, so the phone goes during... And you had to hold it up.
Say to everyone, well, if the game was still going, you just have to trust to luck and answer the phone while the game's still going on, chatting to the police or the public, and try and get your mates to kick it off, and then say, sorry guys, got to go.
Have you ever had to come straight from the graveside to a game?
Oh, yeah.
What, wearing the full kit?
Oh, not a graveside, no. This is just to go, you know, like an accident or something like that.
Oh, a grizzly.
No.
But you've never had to turn up in the black hat and stuff?
Oh, no, but I'd have to get changed into the black after the game, you know, run off.
Oh, wow, what an image.
Yeah.
They get beat. He goes to the changing room, gets into the black hat, and as he comes out, he goes, boy, these boys take the feet seriously.
Damn seriously.
Damn seriously. Gets in a hearse. Have you ever taken any of the lads to a game in a hearse? Come on, seriously. I won't give you identity yet, seriously.
Yes.
Wow. That's it.
And we also had 5 or 6 of us. So we filled up the seats,
yeah.
and then we got people under the deck.
Did you? Oh, I'd like to travel to a game under the deck
for a while.
No, I'd like to do it all the way there. Yeah. You turn up at a ground, they say, these are hard supporters. Look, they arrive in a hearse. Nothing makes these people miss a game. I've seen them getting out the back of their hearse. That's a supporter. Yeah. Man, that's a great call. Steve, where are you, Steve?
Hi.
Steve.
Hi, Danny.
I wondered how long it'd take people to give me to the adverts, and it's taken to just past 1:45 on the 21st of February, 1997. What do you say, Steve?
Right, it's on the and we played on line.
And we played on. What have you got?
Okay, I played. I've finished my football days now, but about 15 years ago, I played.
Why have you finished your football days now?
Injury.
Nobody asks you anymore.
Yeah.
That's what when you finish your football days.
Are you old and warty?
Yeah,
I think you might be.
Old.
So what did you play on amongst?
Okay, we played for about 20 minutes on a sort of nice Sunday morning in Eltham.
Yeah.
Okay. Heard a noise in the
where
sky.
Where the 53 goes?
No, not where the 53. Where the 21 goes.
No, the 53 goes to Eltham.
No, it don't.
It does. Somebody call us up, and we'll give priority to anyone who rings in.
Get Bob back on. He knows 109 bus routes through South London.
53 goes to Eltham. This fella's nuts. But carry on. Yeah, go on.
Okay, I won't argue.
Yeah.
Argue. Anyway.
Terminate somewhere else.
Right. Okay. Looked up in the sky. There was a funny noise.
Yes.
Okay. And then all of a sudden we see there was this plane. It was in difficulty.
Yeah.
So,
any soldiers playing in the back, probably.
Yeah. That's right. So some of the guys sensed there was something wrong, and they started running back to the dressing rooms. And then within about 10 seconds, this plane's come down, crashed about 50 yards from us.
I've had this. See, I had dreams of planes crashing. Usually just before I start new television series. I have a recurring dream. I don't know what it means. I've never figured out what that dream means, but I see this plane crash, and I don't know why I have that before I start a television series. But so they rented the dressing rooms, right?
Yeah.
And now I take it there must have been a certain degree of injuries if a light aircraft has crashed.
No, there's no injury. Well, sorry, the 2 people on board died.
Yeah.
Right, but
but how did that affect the game?
Well, anyway, the players who were left there ran across, tried to see if they could do anything, but it disintegrated into a million bits.
I was going to say, and they didn't even ask to go pudding and beef. I'm sorry about that. Anyway,
right. Anyway, police got there pretty quick, and so all our players were assembled back together. We couldn't do anything more. They taped off around where the plane crash was.
Oh, and there's nothing to see.
Nothing to see.
Oh, there's plenty to see, though. Planes have crashed.
I say there's nothing to see.
So who was the first one to say, are we going to carry on, are we? Who was the first one to say it?
It must have been the captain. It was about 15 years ago. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But what they'd done, because there was bits that had flown across near our pitch, they taped off one side of the line. And then they said, right, let's start the game.
So they just cut a couple of feet off the pitch and said, let's go?
No, the tape actually ran down the touchline.
And you carried on?
And we carried on.
Did you win?
Well, only for about 5 minutes.
Why?
Because
another aircraft crash.
Suddenly you realise...
You looked up and there was this airplane difficulty.
It sounds like the land of the rising sun decided a particular grudge against a particular game going on in South East London. And Divine Wind pilots said, we will stop the game. I'm going to German now. Why did you give it up after 5 minutes?
Well, they found bits of...
pilot
things.
Oh, no.
That's right, behind the goal.
Oh, man.
So they taped off behind
in
the
a
goal.
sausage factory in Peckham, that would have been a bonus.
Yeah. That'll be extra time in Peckham.
All right, lose that call there. It can get more grisly. But they played on, you see? That's what we're asking for. Mel, go on, Mel.
Hi, Danny.
Mel, welcome to the show.
Oh, yeah.
We're trying to get right into it today. Off you go, Mel. What do you want to tell us?
Homemade football memorabilia.
Homemade football memorabilia.
Oh.
Here's another one. This started
with the Batman cape from last week.
Batman cape from last week, and your own Danny Kenny's bobble hat. His mum made him, which a bobble was the size of his own head. What have you got, Mel?
Well, in the late 60s, I had an Action Man, which is all the rage at the time.
It's already good, Mel.
Yeah. And I also supported Man United.
Yeah.
When they won the European Cup, and they had Charlton and Law and all the rest of it.
Yep.
And I wanted a football strip from the Action Man.
Oh, right, okay.
Which they didn't make one.
Of course, no. What a trick they missed there.
Yeah.
Oversight.
It is, yeah, go on.
So my mother, bless her heart, knitted me one.
Yeah.
Well, of course, knitting doesn't scale down, does it?
I don't know. I take your word on that. It doesn't scale down.
No, you need a needlepoint kit.
I see, a needlepoint. Yes, of course. Yeah.
So it looked as though he got a huge, great big red jumper on.
Yeah.
Not only that, but he also had huge white knitted shorts to go with it.
Pre-war types down past the knees, were they?
Absolutely massive.
Yeah.
And huge great pair of knitted socks as well.
Were your mates forced to comment on this?
I'd never showed it to anybody.
Oh, for shame, sir.
Didn't your mum ever come and say, why did you play with that kit I did?
It took 3 hours, that.
The thing of it is, the thing that really set it off...
Has anyone ever had a kit knitted for them? Has anyone ever worn a complete adult-sized, real version of his Action Man kit?
A made-up kit, yes.
A made-up kit, yeah, actually, yeah, go on. What did you say?
The thing of it was, it really set it all off.
Yep.
You couldn't get football boots for him.
No.
So with all this huge, great, chunky football kit, he also wore his army boots.
So he was just a member of the old Royal Engineers, wasn't he? The FA Cup.
Like that. Oh, there's another one now. Have you ever forgotten your boots? And usually you look around now. We want sizes too small boots. Games you've actually played where boots were sizes too small, sizes too big, or improvised entirely.
Not football boots.
Not football boots. Games you've actually played in where you've had boots too small.
0345 909 693. Terry, where are you?
Hiya, Danny, I'm in Chorley.
My friend, what do you want to say?
I want to talk about footballers that have heard what you've said to them.
Go on. Good.
Going back to about 20 years ago in a non-league game in the Cheshire League, Chorley versus Droylsden, I was about 15 at the time.
Cool.
And, you know when they line up for a free kick outside the area and they're all lining the wall up and the goalkeeper's going, no, left a bit. Well, we're all behind the crowd going, no, right a bit, 6, 4, and this goalkeeper was getting really angry. His name was called Rupert Leggett.
Rupert Leggett.
Okay. And after about three free kicks this happened, and after about the third time, this guy jumped over the wall and legged it after me into the car park outside the ground. He didn't call me a scarpered, but...
What a great one! Telling the wall out the line up.
Finished. The same year we went away to Droylsden versus Chorley. Same thing happened. He lined one up and he spotted me. We're giving it left, 6, and he's going, oh, right. And he come after me. He chased me around the ground at Droylsden. He never caught me.
You've been chased at 2 different grounds by the same goalkeeper, sir.
Same goalkeeper.
Wow, what a story.
A man called Leggett.
Of course, you know, I know what people are saying. Yes, you can only do that at games of this stature, but it doesn't
matter.
I don't know. I now think, because it didn't occur to me, of course, to try to line up the wall for the goalkeeper.
If you could get all 15,000 all going left a bit.
But no, it's to say, let me do it, I'll do it.
It was a tactic used at Chorley, It was a regular tactic.
Well, it's a wonderful thing.
Yes,
it's one of the best pieces of crowd information I've ever heard. We're going to go to Andy Darling, but we forgot about Andy last week. 0345 909 693. I know the lines are extremely busy, but we answer them any old how. So, shall I do the joke?
Yeah.
Okay, we answer them manually. In other words,
once a year.
Thank you very much. Here's Andy Darling. What's he doing today?
He's doing advertising. Football's and advertising.
Footballers and advertising. We'll be right back on the other side of this, but hang on to every word.
So, Gareth Southgate, Stuart Pearce and Chrissy Waddle are to accept a princely sum from Pizza Hut to reenact their infamous penalty misses in a comedic manner for a TV advertisement. Oh, they're all at it these days, accepting the shilling from every snake oil-selling medicine show huckster. There's Jamie Redknapp with his moisturiser, there's Gary Lineker with his crisps, Eric Cantona with his trains. Referees too are getting in on the act. David Ellery is apparently about to feature in a recruitment drive by the British Army because he loves giving people their marching orders. Further back, there was the E for B and Georgie Best campaign by the Egg Marketing Board. Rumour has it that there's a similar campaign about to be launched by the Egg people. Apparently, as a spoiler, to put people off eating eggs, the Muesli Marketing Board will be putting up billboard posters of Coventry's Steve Ogrizovich, not renowned for his good looks, because he looks like he's just smelt a rotten egg. Ads can and do go wrong. Supermarket openings were a good earner for footballers in the 60s and 70s, though there were many disappointed youngsters who were fooled by the penny-pinching managers of their local emporia. Grand opening by soccer star Kevin Keegan, it would say on the posters. Of course, the short-armed, deep-pocketed manager had got Kevin Keelan, the Indian-born Norwich City goalkeeper. Whilst the youngsters wept and their parents gnashed their teeth, Kevin would bore them all with tales of his days as understudy to Sabu the Elephant Boy, who, he would say with a wink, was actually the son of John Merrick the Elephant Man. On another occasion, it was announced that effeminate TV funny man John Inman was opening a supermarket. Hordes of men wearing flowery shirts and moustaches were there, along with dozens of slightly gaga old ladies who kept saying, "I don't care if he's one of them, he's always beautifully turned out." Imagine their annoyance when it turned out that the cheapskate manager had actually booked footballer John Gidman. So, who's the best paid footballer when it comes to ads? Cantona? Giggs? Lineker? No. British Gas are going to announce next week that our friend Steve Ogrizovic is about to star in a multi-million-pound campaign warning the public of the dangers of gas leaks. A spokesperson said, he basically just has to screw his face up as though he can smell gas. When he walked in for the audition, he was doing it, and he kept on doing it afterwards. "You can stop now, Steve," I said, but he didn't seem to understand.
And you don't need me to tell you that piece of music is actually called March of the Cobblers.
Yes, is it really?
So there
March
it is.
March of the Cobblers, cool. That's Eddie, darling, back next week. You mentioned the Keelan-Keegan mix-up. Did you hear one of the most delicious things of the week when Brian Moore was with Kevin Keegan during the Man United debacle, actually said, no, it wasn't Brian Moore, I think it was Bob Wilson handing over, said, well, Brian Moore is with Keggy Keegle. I mean Kevin Keegle. He did it twice. That'll be Keggy Keegle. I mean Kevin Keegle. Where are you, Dominic?
I'm in Manchester.
Okay, what do you want to say, my friend?
Refereeing in Sunday League, really.
Yeah, okay. And who'd be one? Yeah.
About 2 years ago, on a pitch next to the game we're playing, there was a team called Pinewood playing a team called St. Cass. Now, no referee turned up, so they were trying to find somebody to referee the game. So it ended up with one of the Pinewood substitutes refereeing.
Always dangerous getting one of the opposition, yeah.
But here's a catch. He didn't have a whistle.
Right, okay. Improvised?
So, well, they looked around through the kit bag and all they could find was a harmonica.
Oh, hang on. They looked in the kit bag and they found a harmonica.
Exactly, yeah. They refereed the full match with a harmonica. The game went on and I can't remember what the score was.
This is fantastic. And who won? The Blues? Hey! No, man alive. Actual harmonica?
A harmonica.
That's fantastic.
Somewhere lurking in my head too is the image of calling the referee blind, the harmonica, Stevie Wonder. I'm working towards Stevie Wonder joke here.
So did it work?
Well, the game finished with him refereeing.
But again, I can only ever think of the oblique angle here. Here's a man out for his Sunday morning walk with his dog. He has the papers under his arm. He's got the Sunday Telegraph. He's walking back across the heath, and he hears gently blowing on the breeze a harmonica. What's that? He turns around and seems to be a load of people and a referee running around with a harmonica. And the fella thinks, well, I know there have been great, leaps in the game, and I know we're edging towards the continental approach, but this, I'm afraid, is a line in the sand. Where was this?
He was going with the coloured shirts for referees, but this is too much now,
exactly,
isn't it?
Yeah. And where was this?
This is in Manchester.
And when?
About 2 years ago.
Well, this is cool. One of the coolest things I've ever heard. Improvised refereeing with a harmonica.
This is part of our musical instruments in football. We want to hear more of these.
I just live in hope that before we end this run of programmes, we're going to get a trombone and even an old-fashioned harp, as opposed to the one he's playing there.
Anything,
That is a fantastic call. A game actually refereed with a harmonica. That's had to cheer if they really want to bring the families back. If they want to do that nonsense, not that they were ever there.
Whistles, they're always all kinds of...
That's the way forward.
Offside.
I'm going to have to... Now, next week for the show, we need a harmonica. That's the only thing now. We need it. Or one of them bells like in a hotel. Ding! All right, what did he say? What do you say, Charles?
Yeah, it's a couple of lookalikes for you.
Oh, good. The lookalike list so far.
Read the list.
Here we go. We have... I first observed that David Pleat is turning into Mr. Punch. And then at number 2 we have...
Ian Dowie, who, of course, looks like Earthworm Jim.
Ian Dowie looks like Earthworm Jim. Arsena Wenger. Return to Arsena Wenger is Dennis Nilsson, the mass murderer.
Even better, Teddy Sheringham looks just like that Gwyn fellow, the last man in Britain to be hanged.
Last man in Britain to be hanged is Teddy Sheringham. Jordi Cruyff is Passenger 57.
Carlton Palmer looks just like Pob.
Noel Whelan is Gina Davis.
And Thomas Brolin, of course, is Jane Torville.
OK, my friend Charles, it's all yours. Who have you got?
Gary McAllister. He's Lenny Bennett.
Yeah, but I'm disqualifying it.
Okay.
Because it looks like another man. You have to be an inanimate object, you have to be a cartoon character or a woman.
Jimmy Hill.
Jimmy Hill.
Dick Dastardly.
Yes, now we're back on. Now we're back. Now
welcome back. Welcome
now
back.
We're back. Jimmy Hill does indeed look like Dick Yes, he does look like Dick Dastardly. I would like to see if we were a television show, which I'll be the first to admit we're not. But if we were a television show, then I would like to dress Jimmy Hill up like that, and I think he'd be up for it. Wouldn't it? And the big puffy hat with the goggles on it, the big purple coat down to the floor,
and the car, the very dangerous-looking point at the front of it.
Yeah,
very pointed at the front,
which some people call the 00, and I can't remember the proper name for it. Tell us. Anyway, go on, Charles. What are you saying?
Yeah, you could have Des Lynam as Muttley as well, of course.
No, I'm not getting back to you, territory. No, quit while you're ahead. You've done
very well. I'm sorry, I'm just dying because I haven't looked at all these emails. This is one from Joel Smith. And he says, and among his rule changes he wants to see, that attacking players can remain in offside position if they're holding hands.
Yeah, more of them. We are actually trying to shake this game up because this season, I mean, let's declare it officially, this season ain't happening, Jack. It just ain't happening. As if they all seem to be indulging in some private game away from supporters. They've got their own politics going on with people resigning, clubs winning, then losing. Nobody cares. The whole foreign players fiasco.
Let's get the big mushroom on the pitch.
Let's get the big mushroom on the pitch. The foreign players fiasco is now officially a fiasco, and the two teams traditionally have dabbled in it. Middlesbrough, West Ham, both rock bottom.
Have you seen
a team who hasn't? Liverpool, they're at the top. 11 minutes after 12 o'clock now, and we did get a call on Wednesday night about a teacher who did an entire game in a sleeping bag.
Yeah, I heard about this.
Hopping around inside a sleeping bag. So we are looking for your lazy sports
Your people reported that to my people.
Did they? And probably took the call and parlayed it up into something. All right, where are we going to? John? Where are you, John?
Oh, John.
Ah, John, what do you want to say?
Yeah. You're asking for confessions from coppers.
Oh, yes, last week we were saying, because we were learning last week that coppers can't even get into grounds with warrant cards anymore. And then, did you see on Tuesday, John, there was in London anyway, board saying police recruitment crisis. This came 2 days after it was announced on this show
that you can't
get into grounds with warrant cards anymore.
We got £1.8 million taken off the price of John Hartson, and we've forced the police to get more members.
What have you got for us, John?
Right. And last game of the 1991-92 season, I get called into work. There's a local match on Lincoln versus Blackpool.
At Sinstillbank, I know, I remember, many looked out,
Long and short of it, I don't want to be there. I want to go and watch my team play. We've got to win the last game of the season, otherwise we finish bottom of the league.
And who's that?
Ooh, they're going to work me out who I am if I tell you that.
That's all right, go on. No, they won't, will they?
No, you can live forever under a BBC assumed identity. We have our own programme.
Doncaster.
It's Doncaster. You're a Doncaster supporter. I know. Your name's Jack, really, isn't it?
Stop John, that's for sure.
Anyway,
You've got it. Anyway, I go there. I don't want to be there.
Yeah.
I decide to take my little lad's radio along, complete with earpiece. I'm stood there facing the Lincoln crowd. There are about approximately 3,000-4,000 Blackpool fans there.
Baying mob.
Yeah. Blackpool have got to win to get promoted.
Right.
In the last minute, Lincoln score. Blackpool are not going to get promoted.
Right.
I am there with my little earpiece in with at least 2,000 or 3,000 Lincoln fans thinking I'm there looking after their interests.
Right, I gotcha.
Right. I hear on the local radio, listen to my earpiece, I've got a grin like a Cheshire cat. My team has just scored the goal.
Well,
we are not going to finish bottom of the league.
Exactly. I mean, and also, Sinstillbank and fall down in ashes as far as you're concerned.
Did you punch the air? Did you jump into the air?
Yeah.
I am best pleased.
Yeah.
I am absolutely over the moon. Right. I couldn't work out what on earth is happening. There is me, absolutely ecstatic. The Lincoln fans are running towards the back of the main stand. Right, I turned round to find I have missed a pitch invasion.
Could happen to anybody. Could happen to anyone, that.
You're in full uniform at this point, I take it?
I am.
You are in every inch all the majesty of the law, are you?
I am that.
And in fact, but you're not actually there, as it so to speak.
I wasn't there. I was there in body only.
Yeah.
My mind was actually on that sacred pitch, Bellevue.
Now, just let me restore my faith in the British law here. I hoped you entered the fray late and just nicked a couple just to say you was on your toes, did you?
Of course.
Carl Shed's good lad.
Got to keep your arrest record.
It's like we had the fella the other week.
I think this fella might have been involved with the Carl Bridgewater thing early on as well.
He said earlier, like a few weeks back, when he said we had a prison officer who rang in and said he went all the way down to West Ham and got there and the game was called off. I think it was West Ham or whatever it was. And so I said, what are you going to do anyway? He said, I'm going to take it out on the nonces. I said, thus turns the world, my friends. We don't condone. We just refuse to be surprised.
More policemen ring in with your tales of not keeping law and order at football grounds.
The first one last week? It was purely moaning because he was actually jumping over the turnstiles, having been so affronted that they wouldn't let him in with his warrant card.
And he was arrested by
a
senior officer.
And he thought he was joking. It wasn't a out you go. And then, because I thought it must be a sold-out game, because he said it was a hybrid, didn't he?
He had to pay to get in.
I said, did you get in to see the game? And, oh, yeah, how'd you get in? Well, I bought a ticket. Oh, so that option was open all the times here, yeah. All right, so 12:15. I'll tell you what we want to do. If you want to bring down a fat one, just want to ring up and just say, look, we just signed this bloke, and I don't know why, but I just don't like him.
Neal, where are you, Neal?
Danny, I'm in Sitting Room.
OK, Neal, what do you want to tell us?
I want to tell you about an interesting variation on some of the things you discussed today.
OK.
You remember in the old days, you used to get the football cards, which were more or less cardboard rather than these silly stickers.
Yeah, well, I've got a proviso on this because we were always ignored in those, so I boycotted them. Not that it mattered, but anyway, go on.
Right, well, I used to collect those, and one day I hit upon this idea of, I also used to have quite a bit of Lego, and, you know, the small squares of Lego?
Yeah.
Tiny squares. I used to line up the footballers, pick a side, and use the tiny square of Lego as a ball. Yeah, and I used to play between.
He's playing a game with the cards.
Flicking the Lego square around with... Oh,
indeed.
Superb, you're on the tape.
The story doesn't stop there. I was about 19 years old, and what happened was...
Go on, 9 years old, yeah.
What happened was I was staying with my cousins in Ilford, and I thought they were out one day, so I nipped up to the bedrooms, in one of their bedrooms, to sort of play the game, because I was getting really, really bored and frustrated.
Yeah.
And I used to sort of commentate on it, and one of my favourite football cards was Len Cantello. Do you remember him?
Yeah, of course, Len Cantello, yeah.
West Bromwich Albion.
And he marched on the field, and I said, on the field...
Wait, when he marched on the field, did you go corner to corner?
Corner to corner, yeah.
That's how cards walk in Toy Story. I'm glad to hear it,
corner to corner. Yeah. And I said, and here's Len Cantello. And I flipped him up, the Famous Acrobat. And all of a sudden I heard this giggle, and underneath the bed was my elder cousin. So
you were being spied upon.
Indeed I was.
Famous Acrobat? I don't know how often I'm going to need to use Len Cantello's name in the rest of our careers there, but... He's now Len Cantello,
the famous acrobat. Of course he is, the great Cantello.
Of course. Well, Italian, a lot of Italian acrobats.
Yeah. And of course you were, let's say, ribbed about this, were you?
Yes, just a little bit. Yeah, you could say that, yeah.
I see, again, if anyone can beat that, I don't think you can, because that is just about the smallest football game there was. Cards walking on their edges with little tiny pieces of Lego.
And those cards,
you should try it.
Those cardboard cards were the very first I ever saw, scratch cards. They were the first scratch cards, weren't they? They had a quiz on the back. Down the bottom, is that right?
No, that was the first, the flags of the world I had, and on the back they had a scratch card thing, which...
When was that then?
About 3 weeks ago. It's 12:25. You can hear the competition is very, very hot again today.
Who's next?
Don't be put off, though, because a lot of people say, I'd like to ring your show, but some of the calls are so good. We'll take it, if you're no good, we'll
give you a slapping. It's nice.
So, improvised football. What this was like, again, last week, a fella rang up and said they had a great game going, nets and everything, and proper referee, but he didn't have a whistle.
No.
He went, well, don't say what it was, but I'll play you what it was. Yeah. They went back to the dressing room, tried to find a whistle somewhere, couldn't find a whistle anywhere, so they found one thing and gave it to the referee, and he refereed this rather serious game, not with a whistle, but this is how for instance, this would be him saying, offside. He had a harmonica, everyone.
He had a harp.
He had a harp. And for instance, this would be the referee saying, this would be handball, I think. And this would be the referee saying, I think I spotted handball there.
No, that sounds like half-time. That sounds like half-time.
Yeah.